Oh,
thank you so much for that.
Starting with a sniffle.
Welcome to A Girl with Misophonia tries to edit a podcast where both of them have colds.
Oh no. Happy Halloween.
Merry ho-ho.
Trick or treat, bitch. My tea's in the cord.
That was really loud.
My tea is in the cord.
Yeah, don't spill on my really expensive equipment.
Or my computer, that's just right here.
Well, it's also part of the expensive equipment.
We'd have to purchase it for this, though.
It's still expensive.
Yeah, it was. It was my own student expense.
Yeah, that's true. Welcome back to another episode of Sometimes Shibata Slaps with Mac and Jubes.
This edition, both Mac and Jubes have no voice.
Yay!
So in not our words, in listeners' words, we're just going to sound like sexy raspy sex gods. Sexy rasp gods.
When I was trying to make fun of that and text you, I said, yeah, I'm going to sound like a sexy rap god. And I was like, wait a second, I don't think that's quite right.
Yeah, no, we both got hit with flu season.
Yep.
I did this fun thing where I went and partied in Vancouver and then was good, but I think my immunity was low, and then once I flew, it just hit me the minute I got home.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
The dry air mixed with the airport, mixed with being tired from going out for a friend's birthday.
Yeah.
And then it just took me out.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
It's just slowly taking me out. I've been losing my voice for a whole week, and I love it.
Yeah.
More than a week. I got it not last Thursday, but the Thursday before.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's been good.
Yep, but I can't complain because I don't have a really bad cough, and I don't feel sick, so...
Yeah. We're going to do a little flash update, just because I have a funny story. I hit a tree this morning.
Yeah, I, woke up to your text message, and I was like... Oh, what the heck? I don't understand. Are you hurt? Or is this an emergency? Do I have to bake today? Are you okay?
No, thankfully we have just dinky little landscape trees where I live. And basically what was happening, I was driving to work. I wasn't even going fast. I was going maybe max 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Max. I know the road was ice, and so I was going slow. But we also have these fun little ice pothole tire track things.
Yeah.
And so what happened is the back of my car got bumped around in one of those ice potholes, so I lost my rear tires. And so I almost did a 180 in the middle of the road. It's not a wide road. If I did a 180, I would have hit a parked car.
Well, and wasn't the tree in a divider?
Yeah, it was in the median.
Yeah.
And so basically, yeah, I lost my back end. It started swinging towards this parked car. But then my car had enough forward motion that I just went into the tree. And didn't even scratch up my car. No dents. Everything's fine. I just backed out and I was like, are you kidding me? And just kept driving to work.
Yeah, that's fair.
So anyone at 6:15 in the morning.
That would have put me in such a foul mood for the rest of the day.
Oh, no, yeah, no, it was.
I would have been just so mad about everything. People would have come in and breathed wrong, and I would have been like, I hate you could die.
It was not ideal, but my car is fine. The tree is on a 60-degree angle now.
You'll have to post the photo when this episode comes out.
Honestly, it was fine. I'm good. My car's not looking pretty, but she's old. She's rusty. She's got scratches. I got to fix her up anyway, so it's just another thing to make look pretty.
We call it charm.
Yeah. Becky's good, though. We love Becky.
Yes, that is very good.
Becky's a trooper.
So with the lights flickering, because you also said that was happening, was that ghosty or what?
It felt ghosty, yeah. So another thing, so once I got to work, I first self-soothed with a breakfast cookie. Because food is my favorite thing in the world. Mm-hmm. And then immediately once I got upstairs and once I got started baking and whatnot, the lights outside and inside both started surging and flickering.
Yikes.
And so it was the one outside or inside, did it first. And then it stopped. And then I turned around, the one outside was doing it as well.
Oh my goodness.
And so I'm like, what electrical power storm is going on right now?
Yikes.
And or can this ghost just like F off? Like we work in an old house, and it's rumored that this ghost is Matthew, and so I actually yelled "fuck off, Matthew."
Did you actually? I love it.
I was like, I'm not having it today.
That's
like, what are the odds? Girl has never been in like any sort of collision or anything like that.
Yeah.
Hits a tree, and then the ghost house is making all fun, like. It
was just being fucky.
It was just, making all sorts of ish, and I'm not here for it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Any fun updates in your life?
No, my life is pretty boring.
That's good. Boring's good sometimes.
I know. I feel like I probably had a bunch of stories and I was like, yeah, tell it on the podcast, but I don't remember any of them at all right now. My mind is blank.
All right. We should probably just jump into it because I feel like this is going to be a longer...
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Very detailed episode.
Very excited.
So, today's episode, we are talking about love languages. And I think it's going to be a really good episode. I'm really interested in...
I'm very excited. I'm so sad that we both have colds because we were both so excited about this episode.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun part of our, podcast career to have this raspy voice on something a really good topic.
Yeah, for real.
So, and this, I guess this introduces what we are starting now. We didn't pre-announce this one, but I think we'll pre-announce the next books.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense, so you guys can follow along and read with us. We are doing an SCS book club.
Yeah.
And all the books will kind of be something related to mental wellness or holistic wellness.
Self-improvement, kind of.
Yeah, a lot of them self-improvement books.
Expanding your mind, in a sense.
Yeah. A lot of self-improvement books, probably some psychology books, some nutrition books if there's enough thing that's digestible for everyone.
Well, even
you have your
my cookbook that I have there, it's covered in dust, so I will not bring it out.
Yeah.
But it's how you can cook your meals for women's hormones, kind of, in a sense, so that you can just make the best out of your meals and tailor make them for your gender.
Yeah. And so we will so when we start SCS Book Club, we'll post on our Instagram, I guess at the beginning of the month, and we'll probably release the book episode at the end of the month.
Yeah. It'll be our second last episode of the month, kind of.
Yeah. So that will be what we're doing.
Or last, depending on how fast we read.
Yeah, exactly. We'll also post if there's delays, but basically we want this to be a little book club moment. You discuss the book and your thoughts and everything like that, and just gives another information source other than our opinions or my studies or
exactly.
A guest speaker as well. And who knows? Maybe we'll have some of the authors of these books on our podcast one day.
That would be very cool.
That's the goal.
I was thinking about that when we were listening to the podcast for our next book. Mm-hmm. And I was like, could you imagine if we had her come on and talk to us? That would be
we could.
So cool.
So we'll see.
If we got to the... Oh, man.
We're excited. We're excited about this stuff, and hopefully you guys are too.
Yeah.
And if you know us in person, you can use our books, because we're going to have so many. We're going to have doubles of everything. So
I definitely highlighted and put little stickies on all, and then I wrote in little spots because I was like, I can't lose this thought.
Oh my God, good for you. I took every cell in my body not to highlight in this book.
I know. So I just figured I'd have it for a while.
That's fair. Folded corners and wrote notes in other books.
Oh my goodness, I cannot fold corners. That's why I have the little stickies. I can't wreck the page, but I can write on it, but only in pencil.
No, I'm highlighter pen. You should see my study books. They're really something. My textbooks.
Yeah, textbooks are different, but just for pleasure reading books, I cannot wreck them. Bryce and I did this really cute thing where we'd buy each other books for Christmas and then read them and then write little notes in them that are really sweet but really embarrassing when my mom or my grandpa then read the book. So that was fun. But that was the first time that I'd ever destroyed a book, and it was heartbreaking but also kind of fun.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
I'm like my mom. We both scribble over books. We're in a bookworm's nightmare.
No, thank you.
So I will break a fucking, spine?
No! Oh my goodness!
I will break a spine. I will literally have the book folded like this.
Oh my gosh. I did that a little bit on this one. But that's because it was already it's fairly worn. But now that we've danced around a book we're actually talking about. So this month is love languages. Yes.
So everyone has probably heard of it, but the if you haven't, The 5 Love Languages is written by Gary Chapman, and it basically introduces the idea of services and gifts and various other acts that contribute to love. So his primary motivation was because of people he was like counseling, coming to him with like relationship issues and whatnot. Yeah. And so that's where he's like, oh, well, there's other languages, multiple languages in the world. So why isn't there like a love language? And that's kind of where this concept was born from. Yeah.
And a lot of it was just like miscommunications. We're like, oh, I'm doing all of these things, but they still don't love me. And it's like, oh, because those aren't the things that mean the most to your partner. Yeah. So like if you were to switch it up a little bit, like then they might be more receptive to love or whatever.
Yeah. And where I think this book was really good and spot on about was dumbing it down, so to speak, for people who maybe have no...
Yeah, he made it very digestible.
Yeah. For someone who, like, if you actually are struggling with your partner and you have no communication skills for whatever reason, right? I feel like talking about love languages is fairly common to us because it's been so well, like, we are part of the generation that's very much, like, talk about your feelings and... Yeah. Or maybe I'm just surrounded by it because of my degree and people I surround myself with are just very open and into conversing. But I can imagine for anyone who's having a lot of issues with communicating with your partner, that reading a book like this that takes it down step by step and it gives like real life examples and
or even just like examples of ways that you can show that love language to your partner. Yeah. So you're not just like, okay, well, I know their love languages, acts of service, but how do I do acts of service for them in a way that they will feel loved, kind of.
Exactly.
So I really like that.
Yeah. And yeah, quickly to touch on, like, as most psychological pillars, Gary Chapman himself can be a controversial human. He's, I mean, an old white dude who's highly religious. And that can cause some issues for people now. However, it's the concepts of the book that we're talking more rather than the author himself. Yeah. So now that that's out of the way, do we want to just go in the order of the book?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Okay. It just kind of keeps it simple.
That's fair.
So the first love language is words of affirmation, which that's just basically just like, it's not so much of just saying I love you, but more of saying like, I really like it when you do this, or like, I'm really proud of you for doing this. It's just like saying that when we receive affirming words, we are far more likely to be motivated to reciprocate and do something for our that our spouse desires, which the way that's worded feels very like manipulative, but it's not.
Well, no, there's a way, like, again, if you're constantly berated for doing something or not doing something, are you going to kind of retaliate and be like, well, F you then, like, it's never going to happen?
And that's exactly what he kind of talks about.
It almost goes back into, like, our quitting episode too, right? If you're even using words as like, thank you, I appreciate your work, that can do, it's such a small thing, but it can do so much for someone's psyche and like, okay, now I want to do extra because I feel appreciated.
Exactly. You're more willing to go above and beyond because you know that what you're doing is being appreciated. And so even it could just be like parents saying like, oh, I'm really proud of you. Yeah. Or just things like that.
Yeah, even if it's not your love language, but if it could be. Yeah. It can be much more influential if it is your love language, but I think just as a whole.
I think, and like all of these are really, because I really struggle because I was like, oh, like my love language is all of them. Because I really enjoy all of these things. Yeah. And so then then we like took a test, but I'm not going to tell you the answers yet. And it like separates the love languages out by percentage. And so it's really interesting to see like where we fall like percentage wise. Because like obviously all of these are ways you can show love, but which one means the most to you? Yeah.
One thing that I found interesting before he got into the love languages, something I wrote down here, is that the average lifespan of a romantic obsession is 2 years. Yeah. And if it's a secretive relationship, then it can be longer. Yeah. And so that's, I mean, when you talk about the honeymoon phase, right? the honeymoon phase can fizzle off in like a couple months, but like the max lifespan of it, I thought that was really interesting.
I think that's, very interesting
concept, because then that's why, I mean, the old school advice of like you have to constantly date your partner, right, in order to keep a marriage.
And that's kind of like what this is saying, is you need to constantly speak their love language in order for them to feel loved.
Yeah.
More or less.
So I thought that was a really interesting point. I was like, oh.
That is very interesting.
As someone who's never been in love, that's interesting.
Well, like and I really liked how he talked about how long the obsession phase lasts and how much like quote unquote damage can be done within that phase. Because you can like meet someone and then get married in a month, and then like a year and a couple months later or whatever, you're like, oh, I actually do not like this person at all.
Yeah. Because
your obsession phase is gone. And so it's like, and like one thing with him being religious is like divorce was not an option throughout the book. But that's still traumatic, especially if you have children and everything involved.
And I think even if it's not like a marriage contract or whatever aside, I think everyone wants to be loved. And for most part, most people want to be loved long term.
Yeah.
Right. And even if it is like if it's a monogamous or not a relationship, like either way, you're with this person. You're like, hey, I like your time. Yeah. I like your face. I want to spend a lot of time with your face.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
How can we make this as fulfilling as possible? Because I think everyone, again, that justifying, I think subconsciously everyone is looking for a soulmate because we are social beings.
Yes, and we have this very deep-seated need to belong and be accepted.
Yeah. And so even if your relationship isn't a traditional marriage, kids, family relationship, I think everyone is in search of that praise and love from another being.
Yeah.
And so this applies to that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the praise part, because it's less so just praise, but it's like verbally stating that you appreciate them and that you see what they're doing and that you value them spending time with you and like doing things with you. It's just like verbally communicating your feelings, pretty much, is words of affirmation.
Yeah. And I liked how he broke it down into encouraging words. And so that's where you said about like showing praise, or like, oh, I really appreciate when you take the garbage out, or oh, blah, 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 blah. Next one was like kind words, which kind of falls more along the lines of like, oh, like you look really good today, like, oh, I like your hair like that, or oh, I like whatever. And then the other one was like humble words.
Humble words is like love makes requests and not demands.
Oh, okay.
So you're just like, hey, you made a really good pasta the other night. Would you mind if we had that again?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, make this pasta for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's the weakest example I could think of.
Yeah. No, essentially humble words is just like, not demanding from your partner, but like you're acting in like a partnership.
Yeah.
And so that was good. And another quote that he said during this chapter that I really appreciated is, I'm amazed how many people mess up every new day with yesterday's.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I actually have that highlighted. Yeah. Because it just makes sense. Like, leave the past in the past and start each day fresh.
Well, there's the whole concept of like, don't go to bed angry, right? And so all that
and
comes
that's
into
like
play.
A lot of the times, like, if Bryce and I have a disagreement and I don't say something in the moment, unless it's something like major, I'm not going to re-bring it up because I know that it's not worth reopening that wound.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not, we don't need to draw out this disagreement.
Yeah.
In a sense. That's what I thought of when I read that.
There's another quote out there that's like, if it won't bother you in 5 minutes, then don't spend more than 5 minutes on it or whatever.
Yeah,
5 hours, 5 minutes, which is true.
Like, it makes sense. Like, don't dwell on something that's really not going to affect you a year from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Just everything. And then like how they would, they suggested like writing lists of things that you like admire in your partner and that you're proud of them for doing, so that when they do something like that, you can tell them, hey, I'm really proud of you for doing this. And then to write down something new that you appreciate each day or each week or whatever it was, which I thought was kind of interesting because it keeps it at the forefront of your mind.
And so would you say there's anything in words of affirmation that like you resonate with? Like, are words of affirmation something that's important to you?
I enjoy hearing I'm proud of you. But I wouldn't say that if he never recognized my accomplishments, that I would feel less loved.
Yeah.
And that was something that when I was taking the test was weird, because I was like, okay, is this more meaningful to me now because of like where I am, like with acts of service, I guess. They're like, does it mean more for you if they help you out with a task that you're stressed out, or when you hug? And I'm like, I really enjoy when he helps me out with the task that I'm stressed about, because it's relieving my mental load. But it's not so much telling me that he loves me and I don't feel insane love from it.
Okay, yeah. So
that's kind of how I felt about words of affirmation. Like, it makes me feel loved, but it's not the way that I feel most loved.
Okay.
You know? Does that make sense at all?
It does make sense.
Okay, what about you?
I think words are bullshit.
Okay.
I could give two shits about words.
Straight to the point.
Oh, no. I could give two shits about words. I think you can say words to anyone. And so for me, when it comes to like love, I'm like, yeah, it's all talk until there's
actions behind it.
And that's coming from someone who, again, hasn't been in a relationship, right? I've only done like the whole dating scene.
Yeah.
And the whole dating scene's all talk.
Well, exactly. And that's why it means nothing to you, really. Like, that's why,
Even with my parents, though, it's like, my dad particularly, he's very good about like, he likes verbal expression. And and so when I get it from him, because he doesn't talk a lot, I know it means something.
Yeah.
But that's not like my primary love language. I'm like, okay, thanks. Like, I get told like, I love you every night, but I'm like, yeah, I love you too.
Yeah.
It's just second nature now. It's not really like a impactful, like, this has to be a thing. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not like I'm saying I don't ever want to hear I'm proud of you or I love you, because those do still mean things to me. But it's like, if you say that every day, then it loses its impact.
And so that's for me, like with words, like a lot of it has just like lost its impact. Like I could give two shits.
Yeah. And an interesting thing, I think I wrote this down or maybe just in my brain.
Pen to skull.
Yeah, I just wrote it down in my little brain. How when I was growing up, my dad would always kiss my mom and say I love you before he left for work every single day.
Yeah.
And so to me, I was like, that's something that I want in my relationship. So I asked Bryce very nicely. I was like, hey, when you leave for work, I would like before you leave to give me a kiss and say I love you. Because that's the last thing we say. I don't know what happens. Your job is kind of dangerous. It just is.
Well, that's
it's just
fair.
reassuring,
like, it's a security thing, yeah.
And so even if we're fighting or whatever, give me a kiss, say I love you, and then leave. Like, that's something, even though that feels kind of words of affirmation-y, but it's like, if I get worried that he's gonna forget, then I get really nervous and anxious about it, even though he never has.
Yeah, it's a comfort thing too, I guess. And I that is the thing with like a lot of relationships, is that most people do ask for that. Yeah. And I can see where that comes from. So I think that's where, like, words aren't like absolutely bullshit, but for me, again, it's all talk until I see action. I can't buy it.
Oh, that's fair.
And I'm like, you're saying that to 300 other people. You say that you say I love you to your mom and dad every day. What difference does it make to me? What does it mean? It doesn't. Yeah. So
fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's our opinions on words of affirmation.
So the second one is quality time.
C.
And so in quality time, they break it down to focused attention, quality conversation, learning to talk, and then quality activities. Mm-hmm. And so this one, I like to describe myself as a prickly person. And so I never considered quality time to be important to me. Yeah. But after reading this chapter, I think it is more important to me than I think.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Like, for me, quality time is like having a puppy who will not leave you alone. Yeah. And I'm like, it's actually, clingy. Fuck off. Like, leave me alone. Yeah. No, respectfully, no.
I was very much in the same place, because I went into this book thinking that my love language was physical touch. Okay. And I'll leave it at that. But
you want to say your quiz results now, then?
I mean, like, I don't want to say the test results, but my love language isn't physical touch. It's quality time. And it makes so much sense, because a lot of
those aren't the test results?
No, I'm not going to break it down into percentages yet.
But that was your primary?
That was my primary. My primary is quality time. Are you serious?
I just did the test and it's the same thing.
Okay. That makes sense though, because a lot of the time we just like hang out.
Welcome to episode 1 again.
What the heck? I didn't know what you were gonna get, actually. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So we're gonna pause on quality time quickly. So I always thought that my primary like love language was like acts of service or gifts, because actually pause, whole other fucking off the rail and off the other rail. I think that there are different love languages for receiving and giving.
I agree 100% with you.
And so my giving love language is 100% gifts. I love surprising people with things. I love making things for people. I love making food. I love doing something.
Yeah.
That results in like a physical product. Yeah. And like, here you go. This made me think of you. Like I bought Journey a cowboy skeleton poster because I was like, yeah, this is Journey in a poster. And so
it says howdy, and I love it because I said howdy to a customer once and I was so embarrassed.
And I was like, here you go. Like I love surprising people with gifts.
Yeah.
Like whether I make something for you or I love surprise parties. Like even with my trip this weekend, my friend had no idea I was coming and I was like knocking on his door. I'm like, hello.
And
happy
Michaela
birthday.
planned me a birthday surprise and I was so excited.
Yeah, and so that's another thing too. Yeah, so for Journey's birthday surprise, I have it all planned out. She has no idea. She has like a general idea, but she has no idea where we're going.
And I have to look good, so.
Yeah, I know you're going to want to.
I'm so excited.
If I say show up in leggings and a hoodie, you're going to punch me in the throat.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, Mac.
No, I'm going to wear heels and a pretty dress. Thank you.
Yeah, and so that's where, and we'll talk more about gifts, but like, I like giving myself as a gift or I like doing things as gifts.
And they talk about that one of them is just like your presence is enough. Is that acts of service?
That's in gifts.
In gifts, okay.
And that, so we'll touch more on that when in that section.
Yeah.
But that's why I was surprised to see quality time as my primary.
Yeah.
But it's only by 3% is my primary.
Really?
So acts of service is right up close, and that's what I thought my receiving love language was.
Okay.
But apparently, according to this quiz,
not so much.
No.
Okay, and I just had a huge light bulb moment. The way that I show love is acts of service. And that's Bryce's love language. So that works out really well.
That's funny.
Because I enjoy just like doing things for people.
Yeah. Well, also, okay, and so I see here that receiving gifts is like your lowest thing.
Yeah, it's 3%.
But that's how I'm like, here.
I know. And I'm like, obviously I love it.
Yeah.
But.
That's funny.
Yeah. Because no, quality time and my second one are 10% difference.
That's funny.
That's really interesting. What's your second one?
Acts of service.
Oh yeah, you said that already.
Yeah. And then there's a 10% jump between acts of service and physical touch. And physical touch and receiving gifts are the same.
Okay.
For me, they're both 17%. And then words of affirmation, because words don't mean shit, are 10%.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so my quality time is 33%. Physical touch is 23%. Words of affirmation and acts of service are tied at 20%. Mm-hmm. Receiving gifts is 3%.
So no wonder you said that like they're all yours, because they're all very close percentages there.
They're all very, very similar.
Yeah.
But I definitely know how quality time is my main love language, because whenever I'm like thinking about what I want to do, or I'm like, I just want to spend time with Bryce. Like, whether that's just like watching him play video games while I'm on my computer doing something else, or just like I was trying to do research for my other podcast the other day. I was like, I wish our computers were right beside each other because I just want to be like near you.
And so that's funny though, because in the book, and this could be an outdated thing of the book or whatever, one of its things that specifies is that with quality time, it's not quality if they're distracted by a TV or whatever. Yeah. Do you still think it's quality regardless?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Because, and I think having a long distance relationship plays a part in that. Okay. Because we didn't get to have that quality time for so long. Yeah. But I think there's obviously different levels of quality time. Like if I ever say, oh, like my love tank is empty. Yeah. Bryce will, like he'll put his phone down and he'll spend time with me. But most
that's something you do?
Yeah.
That's so cheesy, but also kind of sweet.
Well, sometimes I'll just be like really sad. I'll like send him a meme on Instagram that's like, wow, I wish you loved me more, or something really not great. And he's like, oh, is that? No, not that exactly. Yeah. But he'll be like, oh, like, did you want to go on a date? Like, do we need to spend time together? And I'm like, yeah, I just feel like my love tank is a little bit low. He's like, okay. So then he'll like plan an evening where it's just us hanging out. We'll like order food and watch a movie, or just like, but again, we're watching a movie, and he doesn't consider, like, the author doesn't consider that quality time. Yeah. But it's just us spending time with each other, just like existing. Doing something together. Yeah. And that's what means the most to me. Interesting. And so even when I had like this weekend off, I was like, we should go do something together. Yeah. And I'm like, let's just go do something together. Yeah. And even I noticed, like, when I was, all the time, I like to have people just spend time with me. Like, if I need to pack for a vacation or something, I want someone to sit on my bed and talk to me while I pack.
Okay, well, that's what, like, literally what you did when I was going for my vacation this summer, too.
Yeah, and I love it because I cannot pack without someone to sit there and talk to me, or clean my room, or do anything like that, or even go grocery shopping.
Yeah. But here's the things. I like that, too. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't clue into that. But I like when you're just, like, sitting on my bed and whatnot as I was packing. Yeah. But on the same token, you didn't leave without stuff. I'm like, here, that's true. Clothes. Take it.
But
here's some gifts.
But you don't let me give you stuff.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm very picky.
Yeah. Do not give me gifts. I'll accept gifts because I'm frugal and I appreciate not having to buy things.
I love gifts when they're right.
Yeah. I know.
And so I'm like, there's that. Is that spoiled to be to say there's a wrong gift?
Christmas gift, and I'm like, I've got no clue. I've got one really good idea, but I don't know if she'll like it at all.
Most people don't know until they know. Until they see it and they're like, yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's what, so I've been told.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, but was there any other, like, light bulb moments for you for when you were, like, even when you were reading the book? Like, did you, like, relate to this chapter the most?
Yeah. And that's kind of where I started to skew, and I was like, interesting. Yeah. And so when I just took the quiz now, I'm like, okay, that tracks. Yeah. But, no, like, the quality time, though, like, focus attention. Like, if I'm talking to you, do not have your phone in your face. Like, and I'm guilty of it, and I feel so bad when it happens, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I just need to reply to this, and then whatever. Yeah. But if I'm, like, actually trying to talk to someone and they have their phone out all the time, it drives me fucking insane. Yeah, 100%. I'm like, I will break the phone, and then I'll break your nose. Like, I get aggressive with it.
Tune into our emotion episode.
Oh, yeah, no, it's gonna be really fun.
No, I really related a lot to this chapter.
In quality conversation, I feel like I have quality conversation with most people I meet. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's so much like a romantic thing for me. Learning to talk, I know how to talk. It's good. But I find that the learning to talk section is very helpful for someone who doesn't know how to express things. Yeah. And is with someone who is like me and doesn't shut up. Yeah. And then quality activities. I think I care less about activities. But I do like when I see myself in a relationship, I do see like road trips and like kind of living like a van life type scenario and doing like I want someone who wants to come skydiving with me and stuff like that.
That's activities, like quality adventures. Yeah. Like you want someone adventurous who goes with you and wants to do all the things that you also want to do.
Yeah. But I could give two shits about doing a puzzle on a Tuesday night.
I love puzzles.
Like, sure, but, like, if I have things to do, like, just sit with me on the couch while I do my work.
Yeah, 100%.
But if we're, like, doing something fun or on a trip or whatnot, then, yeah, like, we're going to do all the fun adventurous shit. Yeah. And you better be along with me for the ride. Yeah, because that's 100%. One thing. I get so bummed out because 90% of my friends don't like amusement park rides. And so I have to do them alone. And it's not fun for me when I have to do them alone. And you gave that look because you are one of them.
I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I did. You were one of them. And so that's one thing that I find so fun is like the thrill seeking type stuff, like an amusement park ride. No one will fucking do it with me. So
if you want to go skydiving, Graylin wants to go skydiving.
I've been skydiving, but I'll go again.
I know. I think you should go with him. Because he's like, who wants to go skydiving? And I was like, no one from this crew should go skydiving with you.
Journey, like, slowly trying to set me up with her brother.
Well, yeah.
You've been making comments like that for as long as I've known you.
I think you'd be an absolutely terrible match, but I think awful. It would be kind of funny. Like,
no.
Oh my goodness.
No, I don't see that happening. But anyway. I'll go skydiving regardless.
On the topic of quality conversation, I think it was really important of like, I have highlighted, she didn't want advice, she wanted sympathy. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I've struggled with. Like, sometimes I just want to rant. I don't want to solve all the problems. I know how to solve these problems. I know what the right thing to do is. I just want to get these feelings off my chest.
Yeah.
And so I really, like, connected with that one.
I've had that issue a lot recently where I've caught myself and I'm like, wow, I'm sounding whiny. Like,
yeah.
I'm just complaining too much.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like, no one cares. Like, shut up, buck up, Michaela. Like, you're good.
I've been feeling like that too, about myself, not about you.
Yeah.
But yeah. I just wanted to clarify that. Like, yeah, I think you have been really sounding whiny.
Please tell me if I have, though. No, but yeah, that's the case. No, I agree with that too. That's good.
There was one part where they were, like, talking about, like, the Dead Sea and the Babbling Brook, about how, like, the Dead Sea is good at listening, but the Babbling Brook is good at talking. But I think those change too often to be so definitive in how he worded that.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah, I don't have any other notes on that one other than I was like, this is my love language.
I just do need someone. And I kind of want to talk about, like, do you think love languages can come from your parents? Because what I've always done to my mom, like, my mom doesn't, I mean, she doesn't give me much advice or whatever, because I just kind of throw it at her.
Yeah.
And then I fix myself, and then I'm like, okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
And all she's doing is going, She'll be doing schoolwork or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll just, like, rant to her, and this has been the same way since, like, junior high.
Yeah.
And then what she does, she also likes to give me gifts.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, I'll come home and there'll just be flowers in my bedroom, like, out of nowhere. And then I witness my parents, and their favorite thing is, like, quality time. Like, my dad, I think my dad's, like, quality time physical touch, if I had to guess. Because he loves cuddling with my mom on the couch watching TV. Loves it.
That's so cute.
Yeah. My mom loves hanging out with my dad, but I can tell my dad, like, specifically loves to, like, hold on to her.
Yeah.
And
me too. Me, not your mom.
Journey just comes over and she's like,
I'm here to cuddle with your mom.
No. And so I think there's, like, things that I've been modeled and what I've seen as love, I think maybe contribute to that.
100%, because that's, like, your parents are the first people to show you love.
Yeah.
Essentially. So how they show you love is how you're going to receive love in the future.
Yeah.
Like, as you grow up. And I noticed that with mine, our family always did stuff together.
Okay.
We were all, like, quality time.
I can see it, yeah.
Huge part of how I grew up.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that that's how I feel love. And that's something that I look forward to doing with my family, is spending time together and going on vacations and doing all these things together.
Yeah.
And even though some of that quality time was not fun all the time, it was still
together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
It definitely, for me at least, that's definitely. And I think he does touch on that a little bit in the book, but less intensely.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Cool. And then gifts is a third.
Yes.
And so this is where the whole, like, it can be a physical item, like, hey, here, I thought of you and got this.
Yeah.
Or it can be, what I found was really interesting is that you are the gift.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why I kind of also view quality time as, like, because that person is the gift to me as well. So I'm surprised gifts isn't higher for my receiving, because I treat myself like I'm a gift to everyone. Maybe that's a narcissistic thing to say. But it's like, oh no, like, if a friend's like, oh yeah, I miss you, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna surprise you.
Yeah.
Like,
but
then it's a treat, then it's a gift.
It is a gift.
Yeah.
But it's a gift of quality time.
Yeah.
Which is why I also really resonated with that, like, section of, like, yeah, your presence can be a gift.
Yeah. And so that's where I like to give my presents to people. I'm like, hi, here. You're welcome.
You have the joy of being in my presence.
You have the joy of being around Michaela Joy. You're welcome. That's my middle name.
I love that.
The one, I don't think we really need to go too in depth, but one quote that I liked from this section is, gifts are visual symbols of love.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked how he talked about how, like, the wedding rings were like that, because I didn't think of them like that. I just thought they were, like, a traditional, that's just what you do.
Yeah.
Unless of, like, I'm giving you the gift of my love.
Yeah.
Kind of symbolism.
But it is like a gift. Like, you're giving them something, and the visual symbol of love, which I think is really sweet.
Very cute.
Number 4 is acts of service. Yeah. This The way he described this chapter made it really dull for me.
Okay.
Where I like fully went into like thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%. Like I love acts of service. Like fill up my car for me and like do these things that I can do, but I don't necessarily want to do.
Right.
But the way he described it is like it was very cold to me.
That's how I felt about words of affirmation.
And not spontaneous.
Okay.
Like I want it to be spontaneous.
Right.
I don't want it to be like, here's a honey-do list.
Yeah.
Like if I give someone a list of like things that I want them to do for me, I will not feel loved when they complete the task.
Yes, thank you so much.
I will be like, I'll be like, thank you, you did my list, but I don't feel any more loved.
Yes.
I feel loved when it's like a spontaneous thing. And so he then later on in the section talks about like, a husband surprising his wife with the kids, and they did something for the wife when she came home, and it was like, surprise. Mm-hmm. That's when I think it's like a part of my love language.
Yeah.
But if it's like here's everything you need to do today, I have to go to work.
Yeah.
That's when it's like, if you don't get it done, that's the bare minimum. And
and that's exactly, because I was reading it, and because Bryce's love language is acts of service. And so I kind of went into a spiral of like, is he not going to love me if I don't go grocery shopping? Is he not going to love me if I don't make supper? Is he not going to love me if I don't take out the garbage? Like if I'm not constantly doing things for him, is he not going to love me? Because then that turns the relationship into not nice. And so then I was freaking out. I was like, but no, love isn't transactional. That's not how that works. It's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, and a lot of this coming from a woman's perspective, where we tend to, in most heterosexual relationships, carry the majority of the mental load around household chores. And so like, it would be nice, for you to take care of some of that. Like, okay, notice that we're low on this, or notice that the laundry needs to get done, and just do it. Don't say, hey, is there anything I need to do? And it's like, you also live here too. You can also do that. Yeah. So that's kind of where I struggled. Yeah. Especially when taking the test. So I was like, it would really mean a lot to me if he took over that, if I was stressed and tired and didn't want to do that. But it's not necessarily going to mean, oh my goodness, I feel so loved that you did that for me. Yeah. Yeah.
No, for me, when there's a surprise factor, because I know that's from the heart. Yeah. That's when it comes for me. But yeah, one of his biggest examples is like, if you write a list and they complete the list, will you feel loved? And I'm like, not really. No, it's kind of like I'm giving you a task. If you don't complete it, then I'm questioning you as a person.
If I have to come up with what you have to do to show me love, I'm not going to feel loved.
I'm like, if you don't complete this list, then like you better have a full explanation about why it wasn't completed and what came up that was more important.
Well, it becomes a chore list.
Exactly.
And it's not fun to do chores.
Exactly. And so that's where it's not love for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I found this, I really liked it because I was reading it as like, okay, I need to learn, like, what do I do? But then I had a little bit of a panic because I was like, what happens if I need help doing these tasks? Like, will he still continue to love me?
Oh, okay. That's like, interesting.
Yeah. But I was like, no, he will. And then the other night he was like, asking me to do something. And he's like, if you don't get that done, like, I'm not going to love you. I was like, okay, this isn't a game we need to start playing. But yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, what is it? Print note cards with the following. Today I will show you my love for you by blank, blank, blank.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't love that.
I'm like, don't fucking make it so sterile, please. Yeah. I was like, one thing that is cute is like, if you have more money and then time, hire someone to do the extra service neither of you wants to do, kind of thing.
Okay.
Would you consider that a love thing, or would you rather your significant other do it?
Like if we split it up and did it together?
No, if like neither you had time to do it, and you hired someone to do it, would you consider that like a act of service?
Not really. Like, but that comes from a place where my control issues wouldn't like to have someone else do that.
That's fair. Another point in the section was like, run interface for your spouse during his or her favorite TV show or important event, kind of thing, which I would see as that. Like if I'm doing something busy and I cannot be bothered to do XYZ, you better step up.
Well, and like a pretty weak example of this is like Bryce is playing a video game and he's like really in an intense spot and supper's done. I'll load up a plate and set it in front of him because I know that he's not going to come up and get it and then it's going to be cold and yucky. Yeah. So like I'll do that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I was surprised that acts of service was tied. I didn't think it would be that high.
For you?
For me, yeah. But
I can see it, though. Like, you appreciate when you had a long day if you don't have to cook.
That's true.
Yeah.
When I don't have to do things.
Yeah.
But yeah, and a lot of that was just like, it was hard to separate mundane household chores from like doing things that you love for the person you love, kind of.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just me.
Yep. And then last but not least, physical touch.
Yay.
It seems to be one of the biggest love languages, or what everyone claims to be their love language.
Yeah.
Every single person on a dating app, I swear, has like their thing is like physical touch and blank.
Okay, but when he talked about physical touch being primarily, like most men will say physical touch is primarily there, he went into the biological reasons why they feel like that.
Yeah.
But it might not necessarily be their primary love language.
Yeah. And I get it. Everyone likes proximity and whatnot.
Yeah.
Again, I can be a prickly person. And if I don't want to be touched, you might get a knuckle to the jugular.
Yeah, me too. In high school, no one touched me because I was like, please don't touch me. I do not like to be touched. Like, do not touch me. And so Bryce is the first person that has ever like, yes, please touch me. But that sounds weird. I don't like that I said that. But you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be sexual. It could just be like holding my hand, or like when we were in class, he would like run his hand along the back of my desk chair, so he would like touch my back.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Like subtle.
So that's why I thought my love language is physical touch.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like things like, I don't know. Don't hold my hand in public.
What?
I hate hand holding. It's weird and clammy, and it just smacks against the leg, and it's weird.
Bryce doesn't like it either.
I don't like
love
it. Cuddling on a couch, check.
Yeah.
Touching my hair or playing with all I want is someone to brush my hair when I don't want to brush my hair.
That's a mood. Except I would hate that.
That's all I want. I don't want to touch my hair. So if someone's like willing to brush my hair or play with my hair or do something like that, like,
yeah,
love it. Neck massages, or like shoulder, I should say. Mm-hmm. Great. Hugging or something, hugs and stuff. Great.
Yeah.
I'm very particular though with like, again,
like I'm not just gonna touch
holding someone's hand.
Any old person.
Awkward and clammy. And I remember my like only thing that was like close to a relationship, I guess. It's like 3 weeks in 8th grade, if you want to call it a relationship. All we did was hold hands. It was really awkward. I fucking hate it.
Oh, I love holding hands.
No, it gets sweaty. I don't want my hand back. I want to be able to touch my hair freely and not have to be like...
I like hold hands and I just like swing. Oops, I start skipping and it's just so... I love it. That's what I would do all the time. Bryce does not agree
Absolutely
with me
not.
on that.
I even had some like a girlfriend of mine who like... we were on this trip and it was like a group of us. But she was like a very emotional person and whatnot.
Yeah.
She's a very physical person. She very much loved... touching people, and like I like walking like alone. I'm like, I'm close to you, but you don't have to be like on me.
Yeah.
She would always like latch onto my arm, and it took everything in me to be like to unlike clench.
Yeah.
When she would do that, but that was just like her way of, like showing affection too, right? She just like would like hold onto my arm and she would like swing and she's like do and like
yeah,
it was again a platonic, friendly way. But that was even her way of showing love to her friends and stuff too.
And I find that like I'm not necessarily like a touchy person. Like to reach out and touch you right now would be weird.
Except for when you grab my toe during that recording. That was weird.
That was funny. I'll do it for comedic effect. But I'm not just going to be like, hello, Michaela. Yeah. You know?
Like I like hugs. I like hugging my friends. Although I'm trying to figure out, I can't remember the last time I've hugged any of my close friends.
You hug me pretty regularly, I feel like.
When was the last time we hugged? I don't remember us hugging ever.
I feel like you hugged me after the workout that my mom came to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I remember being like, we're so sweaty. This is disgusting.
Like 3 weeks ago? Once?
And there was another time because I feel like I was in my winter jacket.
Okay, another time.
Like after that. Like in between now and then.
Yeah.
But then you hug Gavin every time we leave his house.
Yeah.
Because you think it makes him uncomfortable, and it's kind of funny.
No, I do. I like hugging people. I like hugging my friends and stuff. That's my equivalent to like bye, I love you.
Okay, yeah.
That's my equivalent is like a hug.
And see, I'm more likely to say bye, I love you. Yeah. Than to give you a hug.
I'll say love you too as well.
Yeah.
But usually it's like a hug.
Is there, on the topic of not words of affirmation, but bringing it back to words of affirmation, is there a difference to you between I love you and love you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to double check.
Yeah. Love you, it just feels like casual. I'll say love you to almost anyone.
Yeah.
It's whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's
casual.
It's like the equivalent of like hey versus hello.
Yeah.
One's more, I don't know, formal or meaningful, right?
Yeah. If
you stop and like look into my eyes and be like, I love you.
I love you.
It's very romantic. It makes me cringe inside a little bit. I'm like, what? But with my parents, like I always say like, I love you.
Yeah.
Or I'll say love you too. I'll reply with that.
Yeah.
I have lots of my family members who like say I love you, and I think it's because they want to emphasize that.
Okay. I like that.
I think from a lot of family members who maybe didn't necessarily receive a lot of like affirmation or verbal affirmation of love.
Yeah.
And they then now put emphasis on that.
Oh.
And so I can see that, and that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But like with my friends, we say love you all the time, and it doesn't make it any less true, but it just makes it more casual.
Yeah.
More in passing.
No, that makes sense.
Like even when I say goodbye or something, I'm like, okay, love you.
Yeah.
Like it'll come out, it'll be easy.
Yeah. It's just like almost habit.
But it's not like stop, turn around, Journey, I love you.
Aw, love you.
That's Steve. No, but like, and so that's where that, I guess, divides stuff for me.
Yeah.
So we already touched on giving versus receiving love languages.
Yeah.
That was, apologies, I mumbled that.
I understood it.
Do you think love languages change over the span?
I don't know.
It's hard for me to reflect on what made me feel loved as a child. That's why I can't really say for certain.
Yeah.
But I do think there's an idea of like, it does change over time based on what you need, right? And I think a lot of that would come with growing up. Yeah. Right? When you're younger and you want more security, maybe words of affirmation is a bit better.
Right.
Because you know, like...
I feel like they might... Not necessarily. I feel like their level might change. Yeah. Like, if I'm feeling particularly insecure in a relationship, then hearing I love you and I appreciate you and I'm proud of you is going to mean more than just, like, holding my hand, you know? Yeah. But I don't know that I think your primary stays fairly primarily, but it might shift just a little bit. Yeah. Because I can see it, like, over the lifespan, and he does have another book for kids and stuff too. Yeah. So I could see that's where that might change, right? Like as a kid, say you might like affirmations more than you like, or no, I guess here's a good thing. A lot of kids like gifts more and put gifts as an emphasis of like love and like, oh yeah, they got this for me and yeah. Whatnot, right? Like even my niece, her birthday's coming up. Yeah. And so me being who I am, I asked her, I'm like, what do you want? Give me like 5 things. Yeah. And I'll surprise you with what I want. And so, and all of her things were gifts, like toy related and stuff. Right. Physical, whatever. Yeah. None of them, she's not like, if you could just give me an experience so I can hang out with just you, Auntie Mac. Like, if she said that, I'd be like, okay, jaw on the floor, you are too old That's what I wanted to do this Christmas. It's no shocker my love about you.
That makes sense for this, right? Yeah. And that's why I mean, like, your birthday gift, I'm like, here, I'm surprising you. Yeah. So I guess it's a gift and it's also quality time. Yeah. Your present is me. I'm sorry. You're welcome.
Yay, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Your present is me buying you a really cute lunch.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And that's not a spoiler because she knows that much. But yeah, with my niece, it's different. Yeah. a different thing, right?
Yeah. Do you think it just like your priorities in life change, so it makes sense that how you feel love.
Like if you got a toy that you really wanted and you asked for, and you got that toy, I think it would be like an affirmation like, oh yeah, they listened to me.
Yeah.
You know?
But then getting that toy, it's like the feeling's kind of fleeting.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I got that toy, awesome. But then you're like, okay, I'm bored of it.
That's true. But
in my experience.
But I think that's when it would change.
Yeah.
Do you think there's languages that are more compatible than others?
Because
I think they can clash.
Yes.
But do you think there's anything that sticks out to be more compatible?
He kind of like touches on it. Like obviously your relationship might be a bit easier if your love languages are the same. So like if two love languages are the same, it like makes your relationships a little bit easier because you don't have to try and show that person love. You can just do it because
but do they have to be, sorry, I interrupt you. Do they have to be the same though? Or does your giving have to be the same as their receiving?
Yeah, I don't know because that's how it works with me.
Yeah.
But the way Bryce gives love is not the same way I receive love.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think... I think once you know what your partner's love language is and you're willing to do what it takes to show that love language or learn how to speak that love language, then it's easy. But if you're not willing to choose to do that, that's when issues happen.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. Because a lot of it and a lot of what he talks about is it's a choice. You have to choose every day to speak that love language and to learn that love language so that your partner, who is the most important person in the world to you, supposedly can feel that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing my friend, he was brainstorming with me for this episode.
Yeah.
He said, do you think that love languages correlate to zodiac signs? It's going to be a little off the rails.
I don't know.
I can see why in some ways it would. But I don't know if that's necessarily based on like your birthday, but as like the astrology elemental thing as a whole.
Yeah, I would say like with you talking about like how elements can kind of contribute, like you're more fire sign and I'm more water sign, even though that's not my primary sun sign. Yeah, in romance.
Yeah.
So I'm more like romantic and ooey gooey and whatever. So then doing the romantic ooey gooey quality time fits.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how to apply that to you because we have the same love language. So I don't know then because we're the exact opposite element-wise.
Yeah.
But we got the same love language.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think no because I don't fully understand how that works.
Yeah.
But
I can see where it would. I mean, if you want to vaguely touch on this, again, like Taurus is like food and gives and luxury and laziness and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, part of it is true, but like, if you get me the wrong gift, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything.
Like, this sounds so bad. It sounds so bad. I do have a pile of stuff from gifts that I don't use, and I have it for a regifting pile.
I love that.
A lot of it comes with like candles or soaps.
But yeah, that's a scent thing.
I don't care for that.
Yeah.
So it's like I have a lot of stuff in a regifting pile for like oh shit, I need to get someone something yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where, I mean, but get me my favorite food out of the blue.
Amazing.
Love it.
We love it. I went to that quesada place the other day, and oh my goodness, it was really yummy, but it went right through me.
Oh no.
And I was pooping funny, and I was like, oh no. Sad face. But it was really good and less spicy this time, so I could actually eat it.
That's good.
I was very happy about that.
That's good. Another thing I want to talk on quickly. Love language to self. Do you think you show yourself love differently than you show others love?
No. My self-soothing is wrapping up in a blanket and watching TV. That feels like quality time with myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, again, same thing. And this is why I'm like, it's interesting that it's quality time, because that makes more sense for what I do to myself.
Yeah.
Like, I love hanging out with myself.
Yeah. Yeah, you're very independent.
Yeah. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll make myself this, like, luxurious meal. And then, like, my dream time is, like, being alone at the cabin or with my dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone I don't really have to speak to.
But quality time with Will Jackson.
Exactly. Hangs out with me. Make myself this, like, beautiful meal, watching a YouTuber that I like watching.
Yeah.
And just, like, looking at the lake and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that is beautiful.
And so then, because you also like giving gifts, you buy yourself a lot of stuff.
I do buy myself
gift giving for yourself.
I buy myself a lot of shit because I know what I want.
Exactly.
When I see it, I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's
and like, I have my own money.
Yourself.
I can buy what I want when I want.
Amen.
This is why I will not have kids until I'm like 35. Holy heck.
I love it. But yeah. I don't even know if I have anything more.
I want to touch a little bit on Love is Blind, though. Actually, something quickly.
Oh, yikes.
So Love is Blind season 3 comes out, and someone says this comment that I fully resonate with. Raven, she's talking to SK,
yeah,
and they're talking about their future together.
Yeah.
And Raven says, "That's great, but I don't want my lifestyle to change."
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I fully resonate with her, and she got roasted on the internet.
She did get roasted, but I think that's a fair...
Like, if you're going into a partnership with someone, a legal agreement that supposedly you're going to be together forever, and then you have to then, like, suffer because of it?
Yeah.
Why would I want that? Like, I get, yeah, you're going to school. It's not a forever thing.
Yeah.
But you get married when you're done school then.
Exactly.
Like...
That's why I was so excited. There's... have you seen all of the issues about him?
No, I haven't. Explain. What's going on?
Wow.
Love is Blind recap.
His girlfriend came forward.
Oh my goodness.
There's a bunch about that. So I'll leave you to discover that. But it's like, I completely forgot where I was going with that.
That's spicy.
Yeah.
Is she in America or is she like
no,
a
she's
girlfriend?
in America.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is she like a secret girlfriend in Nigeria or like,
no?
what's
I think
on?
she lives in California.
Interesting.
Where he's going to school.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of tea around that, but
no, but there's like a whole thing. Like again with Raven, like she's like, I worked hard. I've built this up for myself.
Exactly.
I live by a certain life. So no shit. Like why? She's like, if I'm gonna marry someone, I don't want my life to become worse. And
yeah,
like, that makes sense.
No, 100%, and it makes
me.
sense that like, okay, that's not the life that you want because of this. So wait until that is done, and then you can do that or redecide if that's even something. Like this is a very important conversation to have.
Yeah.
Before you get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I very much relate to Raven in many ways. She got roasted for many things. People thought she was rude or whatnot.
She did come off very cold.
But I think I would the same way.
Yeah.
Everyone who knows me in person knows I'm not. But they don't know that until they get past my bitch face.
Exactly. And like even with this, your listening face can come off as a bitch face. But I know that it's not, right?
Yeah.
And so that could not translate well. And even like how much of that is producers editing her to look a certain way and not putting in the conversations where she does open herself up more and get a bit more vulnerable because they're like, oh no, we want her to be the villain or whatever. But
very much so. But like Journey tagged me on something on Facebook about Love is Blind casting and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so Journey and our other friend Brooke, like they both were like, yeah, I want to see Michaela on it. I would not do well on a show like that because I would look like, or I would be the Raven of the show, of a show like that.
But I think it would be,
or I would be even, actually, I don't know.
I think you would do very well because you would ask the right questions and you would get very, like, deep instantly.
Okay, but like, I wouldn't be a Nancy.
Get shade for,
the public would not like
much.
Me.
Yeah.
Or I would call someone on their shit and either people would be like, oh yeah, like, go off, or they would produce it so it's so mean.
Exactly. And so that's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, how much of this is just edited? Like,
yeah. Like on Hinge the other day, it was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Someone commented, because one of my things is like, I like working out at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Whatever. He replies, and he's like, oh, so you won't be out late cheating on me then. Ha ha. And immediately I'm like, oh, you have cheating trauma.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I meant that as a joke and da da da. I'm like, oh, so now you don't like that I called you on your cheating trauma.
Yeah, but like it was like, pretty evident.
I'm like, holy mommy, like mommy issues, girlfriend issues, like what issues do you have going on here? But like that's what that entire show
that gives Matt vibes.
Yeah,
that gives big Matt vibes.
Oh, easy, yeah, Matt. Oh.
I've absorbed way too much Love Is Blind media, and it just sends me into a panic because I don't know what's going on.
And that's where I think Cole's immature.
Yeah,
no doubt. But I think that he was always very open, and a lot of people don't like how open he was. He was very abrasive about it, and there were things he needs to fix up about himself. But
yeah,
I think Zainab is in the wrong for absolutely berating him like the way she did.
100%. I feel like,
and that's her own insecurities projecting.
They both have issues.
Yeah,
but they were amplified when they were put together.
Exactly.
So separate people, probably fine in different other relationships, but in this one were just terrible.
Yeah, like she has her insecurities and she needs to sort that out, and that's on her, right? That's her path to then sort out. For her to then go and backtrack and put it on Cole, I think was wrong.
I think she just needs to let it go now. Like, it's done. It's over. It's been a year and a half. Move on.
And I think it's so right of the producers to have put the cutscenes at the very end 100%. Of the cutie scene, because it's not that bad. Like when I was watching it, they were both snacking. Like, yes, he says like, oh, are you gonna eat both of those? Yeah. But it comes from a place like they're both sharing snacks. Like, oh, are one of those for me? Or
and the way he says it, like when she says, oh, like all I've had is a teaspoon of peanut butter today. He's like, why? Yeah. Like, I offered you more food. Like, why are you doing this, coming from a place of concern and not judgment, you know? Yeah. So I thought that was kind of... I didn't like that she painted him as a villain that much, but I definitely think they both had issues within that relationship. They both had issues. Yeah.
Like, Cole should know, like, calling Colleen hotter than Zainab. Like, calling her a 10 and Zainab a 9. Yeah, that's not going to do any good.
Keep that in your brain. That's not constructive to this relationship whatsoever.
That's not going to do any good. But he definitely did not berate her size, or that we saw.
Yes. And that's it.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know.
I think that should be our segment. Love is Blind recap.
Love is Blind. I love
our hot takes on Love is Blind.
That's a mood.
But yeah, so that was basically it on love languages. If you read it, let us know what your love language is, and we will connect the quiz that we did online. You can see if you relate to that as well, if you had any surprises.
Yeah, let us know. We'll post our results and stuff. It's really, really interesting because I didn't know I kind of always figured out what mine was, but I didn't know what Bryce's was, and I really wanted to like show him, like I wanted to learn how he feels loved. Yeah. And then for next month, we kind of got this solidified, so I think I can just announce it now. Yeah. So next month we'll be reading Rich Bitch by Nicole Lapin, and it's basically about money, finance, how to get your finances up from a female perspective. Yeah. So we're very excited. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. I heard her on another podcast, and I like the way she speaked. I liked the way she speak too. I like the way that she like communicated about finances and money and made it very super casual. So we'll read the book and see what she's got. Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah. That's all for today. I'm Mak Joy. I'm Mak Jubes. We are Sometimes Shabbat Slaps. You can find us anywhere. Yeah, TikTok, Instagram. We have Facebook, but I haven't taken the time to make it actually nice. Apparently we're number 11 on Google SEO, so I mean... Really? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's according awesome. To our analytics. Yeah, sometimes ShabbatSlaps.com. Sometimes Shabbat Slaps on Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot. We post clips or stupid TikTok trends. It's really fun. It is really fun. YouTube as well. Yep. We'll be posting another kind of special episode around Christmas time. Yeah. So if you keep your eyes open on the YouTube for that. And let us know if you liked us posting just the audio. Because we don't have to do that. We can just post the video. But if it was weird to just have the audio, then let us know and we don't have to post just the audio. Oh. For the special video. For the bonus. Yeah. Referring to the pumpkin carving. Because I didn't love listening to a pumpkin being carved without seeing a pumpkin being carved. So maybe you might also not like that. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way.
That's all we got.
Ta-ta for now.
See you later.